Moving on to talk about some of the latest rounds of Osimhen speculation. I say latest rounds. It seems like at this point, it's just new boxing rounds in terms of Osimhen speculation. Here this, now this, now this, now this, now this. Now we heard a new round. We have two pieces of news. It seems like Chelsea, every time you think that, they're slipping away, now it seems like there's more talks between the clubs, with Lukaku being involved and all that. There was also another report that came out actually fairly even more recent than that. And it's the fact that apparently, according to sources, apparently Napoli Osimhen wants the move to PSG instead of Chelsea. That's interesting there. Now, as far as the first bit of news was Osimhen, the Chelsea speculation. It seems like there's Napoli and Chelsea are back in talks. Because Napoli seriously wants Romelu Lukaku. It seems like Antonio Conte seriously wants Romelu Lukaku, but there's reported that Romelu Lukaku, the Chelsea, want a transfer value of around 40 million for Lukaku, and let's be honest, there's no way in hell they're getting that sort of money for a player like Lukaku, who Chelsea have basically let the whole world know they don't want nothing to do with him. They don't, they haven't, Chelsea have no leverage. Romelu Lukaku, he's not even involved with Chelsea right now. He's not in the preseason. He hasn't appeared in any of the games. He's not in the squad. He's not nowhere near the team. He has been nowhere near, he's probably not even in London. He's nowhere with the team. He's out probably training on his own, getting ready for this next season on his own, just waiting for the agents and all that to get this next deal done. It's very, very clear that Chelsea don't see nothing with Lukaku. And Lukaku probably sees nothing with Chelsea as well. Doesn't want anything to do with them. And Lukaku is just trying to get this next deal done, whatever it is, as fast as possible so he can go to the next team. So to think, Chelsea, that they're able to get 40 million or so from him is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. Now, Osimhen, I think, is the right next signing for Chelsea. And should have been the signing about 6, 7, 8, 9 signings ago. I'm sick and tired of signing 3, 4. Thankfully the Samo Oromodion deal did not go through. Striker that has no sort of, we don't know nothing about. Very similar signing to Nicholas Jackson. You're signing Nicholas Jackson, you're signing Omorodion, you're signing all these sort of players at that number 9 position that, are guys. But you could take the value of all of them and just get that one world-class striker. And Lukaku, they're doing the same thing. I think Chelsea currently have 5 goalkeepers right now at the club, with Sanchez, Petrovic, Philip Bjornsson, and it goes on and on. Like, why are you signing all these sort of goalkeepers for 10, 15, 20 millions or so, when you could go out and just, combine all those 5 and or combine like 3 or 4 of those and get a guy like Mike Mignon? Why, mix and match at a goalkeeper and center forward when you could just be getting the world-class goalkeeper in Mike Mignon, or another goalkeeper if Mike Mignon doesn't want to go to Chelsea or that deal just can't go through, or another world-class goalkeeper or very good goalkeeper and sign a world-class striker. I don't understand this sort of thing that's going on in Chelsea. And now Chelsea are, negotiating for João Felix because they want to be able to send Conor Gallagher the other way. And that's also another interesting move in the fact that I don't think Chelsea went out of their way to get trying to get João Felix. I think Atletico Madrid, I think Chelsea are doing it just so they could get the Conor Gallagher deal signing off, which is weird for me, and it's just unbelievable. And Chelsea, they've been a very poor run club, and now Victor Osimhen, there's rumors that he's eyeing, despite the interest that is heavily coming from Chelsea. He would prefer a move to PSG. Now this is a one reporter that reported this, one reporter in from Sky Sports Germany. So we don't know for sure. This is just sources say. But yes, Osimhen, he's attracted so much attention from clubs around Europe. Arsenal has been involved with, has paid attention. We know Chelsea. Now the deal with PSG is, look, PSG, they can remain Osimhen's. Um, they can remain Osimhen's, sort of dream club that he wants to move to this summer. But PSG, its sources say PSG cannot move any sort of move any sort of direction with a potential deal when it's regards to Victor Osimhen, if they still have Randall Colomwani and Gonzalo Ramos at the club. They cannot make that move for Osimhen. They can't make that move happen financially, and it's and yes, Gonzalo Ramos, he has been linked with the move to Atletico Madrid in the past, which is now very unlikely in the fact that they were able to sign Julian Alvarez. Colomwani, he was able to get some attention as well from Borussia Dortmund earlier this window, but none of these was real sort of, any close to materializing. No real potential in those real deals. It was just rumors, and it was just gossip at the end of the day. But Osimhen, he can eye that move to PSG. Maybe the fact that PSG see this sort of headline, see that Osimhen wants to make this sort of move, can maybe maybe increases their level of aggressiveness in trying to sell off these two players so they can get or trying to sell off any of these two players so that they can get Osimhen. Maybe a change of mindset is amongst the PSG board to be able to sign Victor Osimhen, because they do have that hole in terms of world-class player in that sort of attacking display. With the fact that they've lost Mbappe, there's a real hole in PSG in terms of real world-class talent on the attacking end of the pitch. There's a lot of goals that went away when Mbappe goes, and I think you can do a good job of replacing that if you can get a player like Victor Osimhen, if you can clear up the space to get him and be able to negotiate that deal with Napoli. That's going to be very interesting. Now, if that's the case and he, that's the move he wants to make, then it's very unfortunate. I'm seeing, if I'm a real football fan and I'm seeing how Chelsea have been operating in terms of transfers, in terms of just from the outside looking and seeing how this group Chelsea, I don't think there'll be much sort of players that really want to fancy that move to Chelsea. Besides the fact that the money talks, and I think a guy like Victor Osimhen, he knows, with the quality that he has, he knows, the money's going to follow him no matter where he goes. He's going to be one of the best paid players in the world, no matter at what club he is. That's the sort of quality he has. And I believe Chelsea has had to overpay some of these players to be able to get them at the club. And, maybe it's literally impossible for them to overpay for a guy like Victor Osimhen, because I think there's going to be plenty of clubs that are going to offer him very, very good deals. So I think it puts Chelsea there at a jeopardized situation as well. And look, if they can't make the signing like Osimhen, I think Chelsea are heading into another sort of miserable season, and the season that might not have last long for our manager right now, Enzo Maresca. That's really how I see it. And Chelsea, they're in big trouble, big trouble. I've never been less excited for a season, less optimistic. I've never been as pessimistic as I am entering the season as I am about Chelsea now, and it's very disappointing. But at the same time, life moves on, right?